Uncertainty over the reduction of prison term for former Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi. If a broad amnesty is extended already to thousands applies to her case, her time would be cut by a sixth. It's also unclear if she will be allowed to serve the rest of her sentence under house arrest. The Nobel Peace laureate is currently serving 27 years in jail for a string of offences, ranging from corruption to violating a state secrets law. Our new leader Min Aung Hlaing, in his first amnesty since being sworn in as president last week, commuting all death sentences and freeing thousands of prisoners. Amongst them, ex-President Win Myint, the former leader, along with Ms. Suu Kyi, was arrested in 2021, shortly after military takeover of their government. And more, CNA's senior correspondent Leong Wai Kit joins us. Wai Kit, do the sums for us. So death, under this broad amnesty, death sentences commuted to life imprisonment, life sentences reduced to 40 years, and those with terms of less than 40 years cut by a sixth. Now, if this applies, and it could apply to Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi, where does that leave her?
Well, firstly, I must say that you're right. There is uncertainty about Ms. Suu Kyi's jail reduction. Let me very quickly point out how this all came about. Reuters news agency first broke the news. They contacted and quoted Ms. Suu Kyi's lawyers who said that under that decree, she would be included. Now, we contacted our own sources who told us that, number one, the Myanmar military did not contact the legal team. Number two, they did not specifically single out that Ms. Suu Kyi would be part of it. What did happen is that the legal team looked at the decree and said that, number one, there are no conditions for that. And number two, if you look at the decree carefully, logically and legally, Ms. Suu Kyi would be included. That said, her name was not singled out as one of those who would have her reduction of the jail sentence by 1/6. What we do understand is that the house in Naypyidaw, where she used to stay before she was arrested in 2021, the security there today is extremely tight. The roads are blocked. Cars going towards that compound were checked thoroughly. This has not happened before, but it could also be a case of the Myanmar authorities trying to step up security, understandably, because many journalists would flock to that area to see whether or not, she's been moved to house arrest. So there's no certainty yet. What we do know is that the lawyers are looking at the decree and saying that she has to be included in that. I've also reached out to other sources, including to the National Unity Government and even to Ms. Suu Kyi's son, Kim Aris, to see whether or not they have any details about her movements.
Anything?
Not yet.
All right. In the absence of any confirmation from Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi, one name also stood out today. So this was the ceremonial leader when she was de facto leader before she was removed in a military coup. That is a former president. Tell us about him.
Right. Ceremonial is correct. It also speaks to how Mr. Win Myint is not a threat to Min Aung Hlaing. Yes, Mr. Win Myint is former president, and I say former because his term of 5 years is up, and now there's a new president elected, and that's Min Aung Hlaing. So, in a way, the term of the president no longer threatens Min Aung Hlaing, not in the way that Aung San Suu Kyi threatens him, because, yes, Mr. Win Myint was a leader in his own right. He was president, but he does not possess that charisma, that kind of leadership which Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi has, which in a way would threaten Min Aung Hlaing. So, yes, now we've seen photographs of Mr. Win Myint posing with his loved ones. Those photos have surfaced online. They were even picked up by the NLD's information officer. So we know that he's been freed. What we don't know is the whereabouts and the fate of Aung San Suu Kyi.
Oh, so your suggestion that this former president is less of a threat than Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi might pose to the new leader of Myanmar. So if he does release her, or not release her, pardon me, if he does cut a sentence in line with a broader amnesty, that suggests where he is on who he wants to be on the global stage.
Exactly. For the lack of a better phrase, he is going to make use of Win Myint as a political bargaining chip because he's been freed. And don't forget, Mr. Win Myint's name, alongside Aung San Suu Kyi's name, has been mentioned many times in the last 5 years by world leaders, by ASEAN member states, urging Min Aung Hlaing to free political prisoners, including these leaders. And now that Min Aung Hlaing has freed him, he can very easily use that narrative to say that we are now taking steps for political reconciliation. Don't forget, when he took his oath as president, he had signaled his desire to be normalizing ties with ASEAN. And, he can use this to say that I've made that first move. And also, Myanmar's biggest ally, China, is all big on border security as well as political reconciliation. So in a way, it can be Min Aung Hlaing's way of saying, I accept that, I wouldn't say that there are conditions, but there will be conditions for China to support Myanmar because they have their own interests at heart. So freeing freeing Win Myint could be one political bargaining chip to say that I have made that move. So in a way, that narrative can work to Min Aung Hlaing.
All right, so moves post-coup to normalize the government and normalize relations with partners and ASEAN certainly as well. We'll be speaking to you also, our ASEAN correspondent Leong Wai Kit there. Thanks for joining us in the studio.